All right, looking at the unit study guide. Number 1, which equation matches the relationship in the table? Okay, so we haven't gotten to solving equations yet, but we can just substitute numbers in. So let's do that. We're looking at number 1. Let's look at A. Instead of n equals 2m minus 0.3, let's substitute it in these numbers. So n is negative 0.3. So negative 0.3, we're going to substitute that in for n equals 2 times, what's m? 0 minus 0.3. Now let's solve it out. Negative 0.3 equals 2 times 0 is 0 minus 0.3, and negative 0.3 equals 0 minus 0.3 is negative 0.3. So that works. A could be an answer. Now let's look at the rest. We know that we have to get a negative, so these addition ones don't work. We can eliminate them. If we look here at C, C will also work for these two values. So we need to move on to the next two values and plug them in and see if they work. So let's do that. So n, so for A again, we're going to plug it in. N is 3.7 equals 2 times m, in this case is 2, minus 0.3. 3.7 equals 4 minus 0.3, and 3.7 equals 4 minus 0.3 is 3.7. So that works for A as well. Now we have to try it for C. N is 3.7 equals m, which in this case is 2, minus 0.3. So 3.7 equals 2 minus 0.3 is 1.7. 3.7 does not equal 1.7. It cannot be C, so 1 is A. On to 2. Which value of x satisfies the equation? So here we're simply going to solve. So we're looking at number 2. Negative 2x minus 7 equals 12. Put your balance bar in. First thing we need to do is get rid of this 7, so we add 7 on both sides. These numbers create a zero pair, bring everything down. Negative 2x equals 12 plus 7 is 19. Now we need to get the x by itself. This is multiplication, so we have to divide by negative 2 on both sides. Negatives cancel, 2's cancel, and x equals 19 divided by negative 2. A positive divided by a negative is a negative, and 19 divided by 2 is 9.5. So for 2, x equals negative 9.5. Answer is A. Moving on to 3. All right, Allison earns a $40,000 base salary. That's important. Plus commission of 15% of the sales. If she earned $70,000 last year, what were her total sales? Okay, so this is an equation because it doesn't say at least or less than. So 70,000 if we're looking at 3. Is the total. He starts with 40,000 and he increases his amount of money by 15%. we have to write that as a decimal. So it's 0.15 of his sales, and we don't know that. Now we have to solve. We deal with this last, so we have to subtract 40,000 on each side. Bring everything down. You get 0.15x equals 30,000. To get the x by itself, that's multiplication. We have to divide. Divide by 0.15, and we have to do that over here. So these cancel, and x equals, let's go to the side and do that, 30,000 divided by 0.15. This decimal has to move twice, so this one has to move twice. 15 goes into 30 2 times. 15 times 2 is 30, minus get 0. Then we can just fill in the rest of these zeros. So here's our answer. X equals 2 with 5 zeros. X equals 200,000. The answer to 3 has to be D. Moving on to 4. What's the solution to the inequality? We're going to work on the paper because we've ran out of room. So 4x minus 3 is less than or equal to -5. So first thing we have to do is add 3 on both sides. So 4x is less than or equal to -5 plus 3 is -2. Now we have to get the x by itself. So we divide 4 on both sides. X is less than or equal to -0.5. So 4 has to be A. Now you might be looking here and seeing, hey, this is a negative, we have to flip the sign. The fact that our answer is negative tells us nothing about flipping the sign. What operation did we do? Multiplication or division? Here we divided, okay? What kind of number did we divide by? It was a positive. The only time we flip the sign is if the number we divide or multiply by is a negative. Since this one was a positive, we do not flip the sign. And on to 5. What's the solution to the equation? Here we can just do the work on here. This is y divided by -4. So how do you undo division? You multiply by -4. And you have to do that on both sides. Those cancel, and y equals -8. So the answer to 5 is